What's up everyone, it's Magic here, and today I'm maximizing the bokeh. I'm creating the most bokeh-licious portrait ever, and I'm gonna do that using a Brenizer Method / Bokeh Panorama with the lens, wait for it, oh, you know it from the title. It's 200 f2. It's a massive lens, not specifically made for portraits. It's a sport lens, but I've already seen some amazing portraits photos shot with this lens, so I'm actually really excited. Also, if you don't know what Brenizer Method is, Bokeh Panorama, this is a method created by the guy called Brenizer, an amazing wedding photographer from New York. And it's basically all about shooting really tight portrait with a very, very shallow depth of field, and then taking a lot of photos around to later on stitch them in post-process to create this like kind of very unique look. I've already shot some bokeh panorama on this channel. There's a video when I'm testing 50 f1.2 and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to test it with this lens. It's slightly outside of my comfort zone, shooting 200 f2 lens, basically long lenses. It's not my thing, but I'm so excited because I just can't wait for the results. In case you're wondering what's going to be my setup for this video, so I have my Sony A9 III. So this is a perfect sport photography camera that I use for portraits and for wedding photography. I love it for that. Equipped with a 200 f2 from Sigma. And then how I'm going to film this, because I'm a one-man army today, so I have DJI Pocket with me right here. I'm going to have Ray-Ban glasses for behind the scenes so you can see me, and then I have this little mount up here so I can put my DJI Pocket right up here, so you're going to kind of see me shooting. And then I also have Axon CMO. So this is my device that I use. I connect it to the camera via HDMI, put the phone in it, and then I record what I can see on the screen. So that's how you're gonna have all this footage from this shoot, even though I'm here on my own. Let's go.
So let's go. First things first, I'm just gonna try out, just feel this lens, because I have never shot with 200mm f2 lens. So I just took a few portraits, few snaps, just to understand how the bokeh works on this lens. Because with a lens like this, if you're too close to your subject, everything is gonna blur into the oblivion. And then if the background is too far from your subject, also everything is gonna blur. So yep, just a few snaps just to get the idea what kind of distance I want to be away from my subject and so on. Then I tested out the autofocus, so I checked how good is the tracking from corner to corner, because usually, maybe not usually, but often with third-party lenses, I don't get good results of tracking subject all the way to the corner. With this lens, no problem at all. And then the sharpness in the corner is absolutely fantastic. There's no issues here. It's beautiful. It's definitely a top performer. Autofocus speed from foreground to background, extremely fast, no problems at all. So the only downside of using third-party lens like this with a body like A9 III is going to be a limit of 15 frames per second. Sony is limiting third-party lenses. You cannot go above 15 frames per second. Okay, let's shoot some bokeh panoramas. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a picture and then I'm taking a bunch of photos around my subject. What do I do with that? I take that to Lightroom, I select entire sequence, and then I click Photo Merge, Panorama. And then you wait a bit. This is a bit of a fun part. It's anticipation for the final outcome. How is it going to look? And voila, this is the image. So check this out. You get this stitched image. I selected auto crop, so it's already cropped. And this was my regular image with a 200mm. And this is the expanded bokeh panorama from that one image. So here, left to right, you see the comparison. And there's a cool tool online called Brenizer Calc, where you can just put the pixels and the lens you've used, and it does calculate the kind of a lens that you would need to use to achieve this effect. And in this case, it would need to be 99mm f0.99, which is absolutely insane. So now another type of bokeh panorama that I love, going left to right, so I don't go around. I'm creating this more of a panoramic image. So this is a regular image from that 200mm, and this is a extended left to right panoramic image. One more, this is a vertical shot and few photos around that. So again, the same process, select those images in Lightroom, right click on them, and then photo merge panorama. You wait a bit for the result, and voila, here is the result: a regular image, a bokeh panorama image. I feel the lot of the final result is going to be the location that you choose, like how many layers the image have, and these are going to be two of my favorites from this shoot. So this one, I positioned my model just around that leaves, and then the background was like those buildings in the back. There's a Palace of Culture, and behind the Palace of Culture in Warsaw there are these very new buildings. So this is the regular image from that 200 mil. And this is the extended image, which I absolutely love. It just looks great, left to right. So you can see the difference. What are you getting? You're getting this insanely bokeh-licious image. And then my absolute top from that photo shoot. So I positioned my model quite high so I can get both old and new buildings in the background, so I can see some skyscrapers in the background, but also a part of that older building, which is the Palace of Culture. And so this is the sequence. I did miss one shot. I was too sloppy. I didn't get lower left angle, so my crop is going to be slightly tighter than I would anticipated it to be, but it is what it is. It's what you get when you're sloppy, I guess. So we're waiting for the final result, and boom! This is a regular photo shot with that 200 mil, and this is the bokeh panorama. So I expanded this image beautifully. If you want to watch me shooting bokeh panorama with a 50mm f1.2 lens, make sure to watch this video now.